Go for main engine start. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Main engine start.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, we're back. IMAX 70mm The Odyssey, selling out a year in advance. Why is this such a big deal? Honestly, the last time I made one of these videos was for Oppenheimer 2023. The format was still niche, still considered niche, but the fact that it's risen this significantly in popularity is extremely exciting. There's still some people who might not understand what makes it so special, and that's fine. It's a film format, in a landscape where almost everything is shot digitally, and even the things shot on film don't even get film prints. The fact that The Odyssey is having an IMAX film run is what makes this so special. Let's go back. 2008. The Dark Knight comes out. Chris Nolan says, you know, IMAX film cameras have been used to shoot documentaries up until now, and while they are extremely beautiful machines, they are very loud and very heavy, so there were a lot of limitations with what could be achieved back then. Let's take these and shoot a Hollywood blockbuster with them. And he does. First Hollywood blockbuster film, 2008, 28 minutes, open up to the full 1:3 aspect ratio. And he continues this tradition with all of his following films, with the exception of Inception, which was shot on 35mm film only. But Interstellar, he takes us to space, and he starts utilizing handheld photography, further immersing you in the IMAX visuals. In Dunkirk, he straps those cameras to planes and shoots them across the sky thousands of feet in the air. With Tenet, him and director of photography Hoyte van Hoytema decide, you know what, let's find a way to run these cameras backwards.
We wanted the IMAX cameras to run backwards,
so that we can shoot the inversion scenes in real time, for real, without having to reverse the footage in post. And then in Oppenheimer, they invent black and white film stock specifically for the IMAX cameras, so that Oppenheimer becomes the first movie to utilize black and white IMAX film photography. That takes us all the way to The Odyssey, where they're doing something that none of those previous movies have been able to achieve. A movie shot entirely in IMAX film. Listen to this. As mentioned before, IMAX film cameras are very, very loud. In this photo is a 5-frame strip of 35mm film, next to a 4-frame strip of IMAX film. Notice how a single frame of 35mm is about the size of a nickel, and you can fit about 8 frames of 35mm into a single frame of IMAX. With a single frame of 35mm having a quality equivalent to a digital resolution of approximately 4K, you can only imagine the quality of a single frame of IMAX film. And that camera needs to rush the film through its system 24 frames per second. So what you're hearing is that motor churning that film through. The new cameras invented for the Odyssey are 30% quieter, but on top of that, they also invented a blimp that shrouds the entire technology, thus suppressing that sound, which is why they were able to record a full film, dialogue and all, with IMAX film cameras. If you'd seen any movie in IMAX 70mm prior to The Odyssey, even for example earlier last year with Sinners, you'll notice that those movies shift back and forth between aspect ratios. The IMAX scenes are the full square 1:3 image ones, and then the more quiet scenes, the dialogue scenes, the less action heavy scenes are shot in a different format. Odyssey will be the first film that maintains that 1:3 aspect ratio the entire way through, meaning it will never break that huge immersive image. This is awesome, and this is something that we've been, as film fans, as IMAX film fans, have been looking forward to since The Dark Knight, since 2008, almost 20 years ago, when Nolan first decided to bring those cameras into this kind of storytelling. Okay, so it's super rare to get a film print made, but that's on the studio's end. What about the audience? Where can you see these movies? Where can you watch an IMAX 70mm movie projected on IMAX film? Back in the height of IMAX, even before Dark Knight, there were hundreds of theaters equipped with the technology to showcase this format. And for Oppenheimer, that number was a mere 31. In a landscape where theater going is competing with streaming, it's more important than ever to support this format in a movie theater, where the size of the screen is over 100 feet tall and the image can fill your entire field of vision. Back in 2023, when I made that video for Oppenheimer, I ended it by explaining how significant it was to watch a movie presented on IMAX film, because you are watching an actual film. It's physical film being wound and programmed by a projectionist. And that is an art form, part of the filmmaking process that is dwindling just as much, if not more, than other stages of filmmaking. So when you buy your ticket for IMAX 70mm, you're watching a physical piece of media being operated by an actual person. That is what art is. One of IMAX's previous slogans was "Watch a movie or be part of one." And watching a movie on IMAX 70mm is a key exemplifier of that company's statement. A statement of unmatched clarity, texture, and scale. Watch a movie or be a part of one. Be a part of an experience that fills your field of vision. Be a part of an experience that you can only get in a movie theater, watching something made by people, created as a physical object, being played by a person. That is special, and that is why the Odyssey is selling out and will be an important landmark in the history of filmmaking.